Okay, then welcome to the second episode of Kirsty and Charlie Talk Women's Football. We've literally just got back from
We
the
are.
Manchester Derby. So, yeah, apologies if we sound a bit rusty. Apologies if we look a little bit tired. But yeah, we've just got back 4-2. Man United finally win the Manchester Derby at the Etihad. Um,
Not great. I
yeah,
am not a happy bunny.
a bit of a crazy game, in all honesty. What was it? 3-2 at half time
Yeah.
after being 3-0
Well,
down.
I was going to say we were 3-0 down and then we somehow came back. Rebecca Knack, take a bow. Like, she's amazing. I was really skeptical when we first signed her and I was like, that means Lani's going. But actually, she saved us twice now, kind of.
Yeah, so yeah, in terms of the game, it was a strange one. Like City just didn't look like they could get into it straight
No.
away. They really struggled. Big kind of big praise to Mark Skinner and the Man U coaching team. From
Yeah.
me, like I think they got it right. The game plan was spot on. They knew that they needed to press high against Man City, who love to play out from the back. So they had a four-player press, I think, at the front, and then Ella Toon kind of picked up Yui, and
Yeah.
and City just couldn't get out.
Yui got massively kind of bullied, I guess. Yui struggled. Viv seemed to struggle as well. Jess Park, bless her, no matter how hard she tried, it just it wasn't enough. And it is a bit of pill to swallow, I think, with all kind of the transfer news that's going on. And I think especially with the whole kind of Chloe Kelly, which we will get onto, but the whole Chloe Kelly thing being dropped tonight as well just made it so much harder. Like it was a very, very strange feeling derby. And you can
Yeah,
tell we've not got Alex Greenwood. You can tell we've not got Bunny Shaw, Lauren Hemp, big characters that are missing. And no matter how many other amazing players we've got tonight, it just wasn't enough. And I did feel really, from a personal kind of level, I did feel really sorry for Kiara.
yeah,
Kiara had a really difficult game.
yeah. She struggled, didn't
She
she?
wasn't her usual 100% self, but seeing her so upset at the end of the game was difficult to watch as well. She did have a bad game. Everybody has a bad game, but at the same time, like seeing her that upset just wasn't nice at all. It was horrendous. But credit to Man U, I guess.
Yeah, I think with
Don't let that ever come out my mouth again, but credit to Man U.
I think with Kiara, it's difficult because I remember the last derby at Etihad, she was unreal. And I
Yeah, she
think
was.
like that is the highs and lows of football, unfortunately. Like you
Mm,
can literally go from one game being unplayable in goal and making mistakes in the next game and as a goalkeeper, unfortunately, mistakes lead to goals. And that's what happens. She couldn't get the ball out because Man United were pressing so high up.
yeah.
They just couldn't find a way out, and the only way that City can find a way out is passing, and they don't have another style of play. And I
No, they
think that's
don't.
why Man United just did so well. They literally tailored their whole approach to exactly what City do. So instead of them
Yeah.
going, right, we're going to play our way, they went, no, we're going to do this style of play against City. We're going to press high. We're going to block off all their passing patterns. And City didn't do anything to do with United. They just went, right, we're going to do what we normally do. And it just does
It
that.
didn't
It
work.
just doesn't
No,
work.
it
It
didn't.
doesn't always work in football. That's not how it works. Like Jose Mourinho, like had rubbish players at Porto, and he was beating big teams and win the Champions League by just being hard to break down.
Yeah.
Like you have to change things when you're a manager, and as much as Man U fans, give stick to Mark Skinner, he got it right. He
Yeah, he
got it
did. And
spot on.
I think this whole Mark Skinner slander for now needs to stop anyway. I mean, as a City fan, it is really hard giving United the credit, but they were the better team on the night.
Yeah,
And it is really tough. We are in a very tricky situation at the moment. We've lost a lot of players due to injury. By the looks of it, we're losing a lot of players in the transfer window as well. And even though we're bringing people in, I feel like Gareth's maybe not doing as much as he should, in terms of preparing for games. Like, fair enough, we beat Ipswich last week, but it's Ipswich. Do you know what I mean? They are a lower
yeah.
kind of league team, and I think we maybe should have gone into the derby with a better mindset than we did. But yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow. But at the end of the day, there's nothing we can do about it, and we
Yeah.
go again Wednesday, and it just happens to be unfortunate that we've now got them in the cup as well. But I have a feeling there'll be a lot of rotation from Mark Skinner. He may underestimate us on Wednesday. We might change everything completely and go in completely different to tonight, but I can't really see it happening.
But
And I
can you
am
though?
slightly,
Can
well,
City change it? They don't have the players. Looking at that
as
bench
somebody
today,
said to me today, you've got the kids on the bench.
looking at the
We
bench,
have literally got, in terms of experience, and please don't quote me for this, people, because I am very tired. It is 25 past 11 on a Sunday night, but we have literally got, in terms of experience, Laura Coombs at the
yeah.
minute. We
When
have
you
Laura Coombs,
when you looked at
and
that bench
Coombsy is
today,
amazing, but she can't do it on her own.
when you looked at that bench today, nothing on there stood out. Like when you're looking
Oh,
at
well,
it,
that's a bit harsh.
no, but when you're looking at it and you look at Mary Fowler struggling out on the left, you're then looking at the bench and you're going, you've got Lily Murphy on the bench, who has been really, positive
Credit to her tonight, though.
coming
She
off
was
the
good.
bench, but you're looking at it and you're thinking, right, Fajino's playing, Mary Fowler's out there. They take off Fajino, they put on Jess Park onto the wing,
Mm.
and then you put Mary Fowler up front. They take Viv off. Viv was kind of really the only goal scoring threat,
Viv was annoyed when she came off as well.
but she was the only goal scoring threat, and you know she really needed Jill Roord. I just think at this moment in time when Man City don't have Bunny Shaw,
Oh,
having
hemp.
having Jill Roord, no, I'm talking mainly down the middle.
Mm.
When they don't have uh when they don't have Bunny Shaw, having Viv, having Jess Park, and having Jill Roord, all in that kind of role down the middle. They all want to play the 10 role, and
Mm.
it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work for some reason. They just can't all link up. Like Viv wants to drop into them spaces, Jill wants to drop into them spaces, and Jess wants to drop into them pockets of space. It just doesn't work all at the same
Yeah.
time. And like I know we've had many conversations before that Bunny Shaw and Viv don't even work. Like it
Mm.
worked in the Barca game, but I think that was because of the game plan.
Yeah, I
In
think
general, it just doesn't work. Their style of play does not work together.
I think at the minute we have a good team on the pitch, but we've not got really much other than the younger players. And credit to them where credit is due; they are amazing, especially Lily Murphy. But and we've got Blinky, I guess, as well. But I think it is just in terms of the experience we need. We've gone from being like 6 points clear just before Christmas to
Mm.
now being, well, until we played, like, Chelsea caught up with their games, but we're now fourth. We've
Yeah.
gone from being top, so close to getting kind of that WSL win again, which we've not had for a long time. We missed out last season. We're going to miss out again this season because United tonight have now gone ahead of us because
Mm.
they've beaten us. Arsenal won today. So they're now in front of us as well. And we've suddenly slipped from first to second to now fourth. And I really don't know how we're going to come back from this. It is really tough at the minute as a City fan. And I mean, I've probably been quite critical at the best of times, but at the minute, even I'm a little bit overwhelmed by it as a fan,
Yeah.
and it is tough. It is, and but we've still got the Champions League, we've still got the FA Cup, and I think with the players that we've got at the moment, and in terms of the bench, we've not got that rotation that we need to be able to actually kind of get players rested,
Mm.
and yeah, it's not a
I
nice.
think my problem with the City squad is that the main squad and the second squad are so separate. Like the
Mm.
second squad is so far off the main squad. Like when you
That's a little harsh,
when
but
you don't when you don't have Alex Greenwood and you have Alexandria and Rebecca, it's not the same. And like before Rebecca came in, when you have Lani and Alexandria, it's just not the same. You don't have the same outlet when you haven't got Lauren Hemp there and you have Fujino, and as good as Fujino has been in little glimpses, it
she
isn't
was
the
good tonight,
same.
to be fair.
Having Bunny Shaw and then Viv is completely different. The
Yeah.
style that City want to play is so one dimensional, and they're never going to change it. They're always going to play that way of play around the back, try and play through the middle, then play to the wing and cross it in. And that's the only way that they seem to know how to play. There's no other way.
Mm.
And having Bunny Shaw is fine and having Hemp is fine because you can play to them players. And even if the fullbacks are good, Lauren Hemp can find a way to get past them and
Yeah.
cross it in, and Bunny Shaw can always find a way to find a bit of space and win the like ball from a header. But having Viv there, Viv wants to play with the ball at her feet. She wants to
Yeah.
run in behind because that's what she has done at Arsenal. They just
It's a
don't.
little bit different at
There's the
City.
style of players aren't the same. Like, yeah, they're both ball playing teams, but City is so much slower. Like, they
Mm,
really take ages to build it up. They're not direct at all. And I
we
think
were
that's the
slow
difference. Like,
tonight.
they just don't seem to have the same characters. They need to have a plan B, and they don't have it.
No, and I think this is quite a good transition here, but we were having a conversation with somebody that we've met through City tonight about the winger options that we've got. And with the rumour of Chloe Kelly apparently going to United now and a loan kind of spell until the end of the season, we're just making it even harder for ourselves. And I know that our director of football has said that more players will be coming in, but Chloe Kelly to United is not what you need to hear
No.
an hour before the derby starts for her then to suddenly have an ankle injury, which ruled her out of tonight, and she wasn't on the coach. She wasn't even there to then lose in the derby to United, the team she's moving to. It's just a lot. It is a lot
Yeah.
to emotionally deal with.
And that game was literally screaming out for Chloe Kelly as
It
well.
really was. Like, we looked at each other at one point and were like, this is a game where Chloe would have made the difference,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
wasn't there.
It needed a direct winger and it just didn't have it.
And if she does go to United, fair play. Fair play. But I don't think she'll come back to City if that is the case.
No, I just don't know
It's a
what to
tough
think
one.
about it. I really don't. I
Let me get
just
transfers up while we're talking about them.
in my head I just expected her to go to like Liverpool or Everton and then
Not a
come
rival.
come back and then go from there. I didn't expect to go, and I think if she goes United, I think that's her and City then
Yeah,
done.
that's it.
I don't think she goes back to City
No,
and gets back in the team and stuff like that. But
it's
with
tough.
the links with this is it Carolyn, the Brazilian winger
Yeah.
striker. I think
We
she's
might
mint.
be all right.
I think
We
she's
might be
really
all right.
good. Like I think she's really good, and it's exactly what I think City need. I think she's especially if they can try and play her in the striker role and push Viv into the 10, and if they've not got Bunny Shaw in places, they can play her or even out on the wing. Like I think she's going to be really good. I think she'll fit in really well.
We
Like she's
also
class.
have got going on to transfers. Oyama, who signed for us, I think yesterday she was announced.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know anything
so
about her to be
she's a
honest.
Japanese midfielder. She's still quite young, but apparently she's had quite a lot of success with the national team. I think it's the under 20s, but
Okay.
she has had a lot of experience at national level. She's come from a university team. From the research that I've done, but we don't know what she's like yet either. Like we saw her tonight, and she was warming up down the side, but we also that could be something else that unlocks what we need in the midfield at the minute. And
Mm.
personally, I think Kirsten going back into defence might not have been the option that we needed. Like she did do a good job tonight, but she's kind of moved into a new role and then gone back into that. So
Well,
it'd
it
be interesting
depends
to
on
see
who
how
they
that happens
play.
as well.
The thing with Kirsten, it depends how they play. If they play a team that sit in and sit back behind the ball, it allows Kirsten to go really far forward. But with United, that just didn't happen. They didn't allow that to happen. They really pinned in the fullbacks and made it really difficult. So Kirsten just couldn't get on the ball, and neither could it forced them to go on the left to
Yeah.
Leia, and she just couldn't really get a grip of it today. So it was tough. I thought Man U really done well today.
We'll see how Wednesday goes. I mean, at the moment, I have to admit that Manchester is not red. No, still not going to admit it. But we'll see how Wednesday goes. And obviously, that's a cup game, so it's slightly different. But it'll be interesting to see if those emotions are still there that were there tonight and we're not going, which is a shame. But I think I might be better watching it at home in my pajamas because my whoop levels tonight are not great. Um, but we've briefly touched on transfers. I have done a list of the ones that I think have stood out the most. One of them's actually only dropped this afternoon as well. You've got Poppy Pritchard, who has gone from one loan now to Newcastle till the end of the season.
Yeah,
So
she went back to City, didn't she? And now
yeah,
she's
she
gone again.
literally came back for less than a week, and she's gone back out again on loan, which I think she needs for experience.
100%.
You guys have obviously got Viv Leia.
Yeah,
Leah,
so
Leah.
we gave her a contract and then we've put her out on loan, which is good.
Yeah,
I
she's
like it.
gone to Southampton, which I think
Good.
she needs. You guys have also loaned out Catherine Cool. She has gone to Roma.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And then a big one that stands out to me that's come out in the past kind of 24 hours, other than Chloe Kelly, is Kenza Darley. Kenza Darley has decided to leave Aston Villa. I know she's got links with the NWSL.
Yeah, specifically.
San Diego
Yeah,
Wave. There seems to be a lot of kind of
since Jonas has gone, there's been a
there
lot
seems
of
to be a lot
interest.
of rumours of players leaving the WSL to go there, which sounds absolutely mental
I
when you think
think,
about the dire situation he left
yeah,
Arsenal
I
in.
think he kind of made a list of WSL players that he liked,
Yeah.
and now he's gone there and he's gone. Look, these players are really good and they're really underrated
Mm,
players. They could potentially come over here and do really well. I think that's what he's
yeah.
done.
I don't think Kenza Darley will be the last player that goes to San
No,
Diego Wave in
not a
this
chance.
transfer window.
Not a chance.
Um,
They're
but I'm
linked with too
gonna,
many.
yeah, I'm gonna leave that one at that for
But
now,
another one in terms of Arsenal, talking about Jonas.
though. Renee Slager,
Yeah, we've
permanent
given her
manager.
the permanent role. I'm wondering if it's to do with the fact that Casey became unavailable going to Canada.
Nah, I don't think she was ever gonna go. I know she was
I don't
interviewed, but I
know. I
don't think
really
she'd have
don't
ever
know.
gone to Arsenal.
But Arsenal never seemed to be 100% on Renee though. Like they were
Or
never 100% set.
was that to keep people talking about her? Was that to keep the
I don't.
speculation there? Because would it have been too obvious to go, oh, by the way, actually, Renee's the only person we're looking at. She's going to get the job.
I don't think we're that like complex as a club. I don't think we think like that. I
Maybe.
think we're really like we're really obviously intentional of what we're gonna do. So
Yeah, I
I
guess
just
so.
don't see us. I just didn't see us doing that. Like they literally came out and said they don't. They don't think she's going to be permanent. They were openly looking for other options. So
And now she's ended up staying.
yeah,
So
so
we'll
I think it
see.
is just kind of they ran out of options. She's doing well anyway, but
Just keep her.
yeah,
And
I
she
hope she
seems,
carries on doing well. Like it's not. I haven't got
yeah.
a problem with it at all. I think she's brilliant. I would have liked to have Nick Cushing, but oh well, move on. Like
Well,
it
yeah.
is what
And
it is. And she's doing really well.
um, before anybody tells me this, just going back to transfers, I've had about 18 different people message me this evening to state to me that Lani wasn't there tonight. I know she's not there. However, until it's confirmed, I will not stop wearing this to the football. And people do keep messaging me going, "Oh my God, she wasn't there." And I'm like, I know. But it'll be interesting to see where she ends up as well, because I have a feeling that Dream of City's over. And who knows? We've also had a couple of people message us tonight saying that they think Gareth Taylor needs to go in the summer as well. So
Yeah.
who knows what's going to happen in this whole managerial situation.
It's a bit weird at City at the minute,
Yeah.
isn't it?
But one last point, because I know we're both tired, but we still wanted to get a podcast out. One thing, this is not, now you don't know about this, but I've seen quite a lot of other people talking about it. So I thought it might
Okay.
be good to educate you on this on the podcast.
Okay.
So, previously, if you wanted to find out about club news or like specific match tactic, like match scores and like percentages and stuff like that, you'd have to type in like Manchester City women v Manchester United women.
What, like on Google?
Yeah, you wouldn't
Oh,
just be able to Google
so like when you
Man
put
City versus Man United, because
yeah,
it would
right.
automatically give you the men's.
So like when like I did one before that was like have Arsenal ever won the Champions
Yeah,
League? And it would say no, but then obviously the women's team have. So you'd
yeah.
have to put yeah.
So
Okay.
now when you put that in,
Yeah.
it gives you the option. It doesn't automatically assume that you just want the men's information. It comes up with two different options above it, and there's a women's football and a men's football. So
Ah.
it's no longer based on people assuming that it's just the men's that they're interested
Ah.
in. You can now actually just click on that, and it will give you whatever result it is you're looking for the women's as well.
That's actually really good.
So like and I don't know, I'm assuming it works the same. I've not tried this one yet, but if you wanted to type in Man City or Arsenal transfers in the winter window, it gives you the option to pick whether it's the men's or the women's.
Oh, we'll have
It
to give
doesn't
it a
just
go.
generically. So Don't hold me to that. That might not be true, that bit, but I know you can definitely search it directly between the men's and the women's
So
now.
like before, when you oh god, what was it? There was one where there was an advert. There was an advert a couple of years ago that was like who scored the most goals
Yeah.
in something, and it was like Ronaldo, but then it was actually someone else who'd scored more goals in the women's game or something like that. I wonder if
Yep.
that will be on there. I don't know the stats, so this
Yeah,
is really
we'll have
dead
to have
chat.
a
But
play around with it, but I thought it was something that
yeah,
you
that's really
probably
good.
needed to know about
That's
because
really good. Yeah, I haven't seen anything. Obviously,
yeah,
I've not been on
Charlie's
TikTok this
been
week because
rubbish.
I've not been rubbish. It's that obviously we've been watching Traitors on BBC, so I've
Yeah.
not wanted to go on TikTok because I've not been able to watch it and I don't want to have it spoiled. So
I'm
I've not used
also
TikTok this week.
putting this out here because I feel like this will make people giggle as well, and you're going to hate this. But can I just say, your knowledge on players' names tonight was top point. And that has 100% got to have come from the sticker books. I know this is last season's,
What
but
do you mean?
like when Sandberg came on the pitch, you actually knew who her name
Yeah, but
was.
I
And I
only
feel like you wouldn't have known who she was if you hadn't have done
no.
the
So
sticker book.
I remember making a video when she signed.
Mm-hmm.
I made a video and I think I did like a post on Trailblazer of Sandberg, but then also we were talking about it the other week with Connor on live. So
But I do feel like the sticker book has massively helped you. So Panini, thanks for educating Charlie's
I
football
mean, I'll
knowledge as well.
take it. I'll
I'll
take it.
take it. But I guess the next WSL game we're attending, which will be on the 2nd of Feb, because we're going to have a break next weekend, aren't we? Like Charlie's team's got no
Yes,
football. We're going to watch Villa from home because I think we both need the rest, and I think my
absolutely.
heart rate needs the rest. Otherwise, I'm going to have grey hair and just end up making myself poorly. But we'll be live for that, I think. And the next game after that is the Arsenal City game at the Joy. So we're not sure how
And
the
what
podcast
happened?
will
Sorry,
end
what
up.
happened last time we went?
Week 4's podcast, we may not be doing it together. It might be one or the other, because we may not be speaking to each other by the end of that match because we are going.
I think I've got bad memory. What happened last time Arsenal
Oh
played City
God.
at the Joy?
Yeah, it was Arsenal's fault that we
What was it? Was it? Were
didn't
you,
win the league.
sorry, was you 1-0 up and then? Oh yeah, you were 1-0 up and then
Some
Black
player called
Stenius.
Stenius, I don't know who she is.
Yeah, she
Like,
came on. Oh, was she? No,
no
you don't know.
idea.
Oh, she was the one that scored 2 goals that lost you the league. That one.
And this year we've done it ourselves. So whatever happens at that Arsenal game, who knows? But yeah, we will be going live for it though. We will still be doing the podcast next week.
Absolutely.
And we will have the flexibility to be able to film the podcast not at 11:30 at night when we've got back from the Manchester derby, but
Yep.
we felt it had to be done, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And we really appreciate all the support from the first episode.
Yeah.
We really do. It's been
And-
really nice. We've had a lot of
Ooh,
love.
That's a good point, actually, because to celebrate the launch of our podcast, we are doing a giveaway with Football Hair.
Oh,
These amazing guys.
trying
If
to
you
show it on the
see
camera. Sorry, audio. listeners.
Yeah, Charlie's got his hoodie on for anyone who doesn't know. They are releasing some accessories at the end of this month, and they have kindly given us permission to give away one of their water bottles. So if you want to do that, you've got to make sure that you subscribed on here, you follow our TikTok, you've got to follow Football Her on TikTok as well. And then if you repost it, you get an extra entry as well. We'll leave the link to our TikTok and Football Hers in the bio. In the description. This is where I got the difference between YouTube and TikTok. But there is a chance for you to win one of their water bottles, which are unreleased at the moment. So yeah, had to get that in there as well.
Yeah,
The whole point of it is to make it as big as we possibly can. We can't do that without you guys. So thanks.
Right. See you in the next episode.
See you next week.